Welcome all of you. It's fantastic to be joining you for this, which is our 2024 Macquarie Australia Conference, is our 26th conference. For us, it's a great privilege to be bringing together capital, the custodians of capital from Australia and around the world, to hear from leading businesses in Australia on how they're seeing things and what's happening. As we go into this year, we're going into an environment, having been through very colourful years recently, where the outlook was, well, what happens as we come out of all of this?
I think the revolution was the fact that Gen AI suddenly became really meaningful. A year and a half ago, suddenly people went, oh, this is a really big thing. I think AI is a tool. It's not the solution, it's part of the solution, and how you use it matters.
Over the course of the last decade, we saw something that was just extraordinary. The massive shift of on-premise computing into public and private cloud. And I thought that was, in the history of computing, extraordinary. But what we're about to experience right now, it's essentially the beginning of the fourth industrial revolution. The fourth industrial revolution is about the production of intelligence. But the key driver from a customer point of view starts with the consumer. And it's extraordinary when you look at the numbers. The adoption rate of AI is now faster than any other technology in history. But we're only 1 year into the journey. It's barely even begun. Be a leader. Don't miss out on the opportunity to do something extraordinary, because there's never been a moment in time in history like this one.
You're seeing more batteries enter the market more quickly than you are, if you like, wind and renewables. The reason for that is you can get planning on a battery. It's largely a much easier asset to build. We see planning on a battery 12 to 18 months typically. If you're on a site-owned connection, then you can go a lot quicker as well. So it really comes down to, it's a much simpler asset to build. Customers are electrifying, and they're going to continue to electrifying. We're seeing that now, whether that be through hot water systems, gas stoves, it is happening. I don't think it's a question, electricity or gas. Electrification is happening, it's going to happen, so you want to make sure you're at the front of that.
The reopening of the China market for Penfolds. So can you talk us through the reopen strategy and how you see China as a market following a 4-year absence?
From a reopening point of view, there's a couple of key tasks that we've been planning for and are now implementing. Clearly, the first one is what allocation of wine can we, and Penfolds in particular, as you say, can we take from markets around the world to start the re-establishment of Penfolds' Australian portfolio in China.
In Australia is a great example, and we do think of Australia as a lead indicator because so much great product is developed with Australian mathematicians and Australian maths that we've actually gained very successful market share over here, and I think that's evidence that the market can change when great new product comes through. So.
I think ESG also done well, and we're seeing this really does give you great commercial benefits. But for us, it's really led within our culture and really works as a good value proposition for our employees.
Online sales has really broadened now. I mean, back 3 or 4 years ago, there was a couple of the big e-commerce platforms with the drivers of the wine category. Now you're selling more wine through TikTok. So there's a variability of e-commerce, but the traditional wholesale channels, the retail channels, are still very consistent.
The broader trend, what we are seeing though, is if I just go one step further, and this is certainly I think a tailwind for the food and grocery sector, is on-prem consumption reducing and more in-home consumption. What we are seeing is 87% that we've surveyed have talked about changing their shopping habits, using online as a mechanism to manage their budget. And we're seeing that merging of that physical and digital sort of technology being really important in terms of how customers engage.
I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you for your partnership. It's only with the support of each and every one of you that we're able to continue to invest in our market-leading offering, so thank you.